But let's start from the start of the process in which you guys decided to recognize that you had issues in terms of your rebates, and what was the real catalyst when you decided to start searching for a rebate solution. Let's go with you first, Bob. What would you say?
Well, it was a little bit of a drawn-out process for us in Advanced Auto Parts. We had our rebate challenges that we knew existed from various mergers and acquisitions, different point-of-sale systems. We were essentially operating all 5 different ERPs, different programs on all different sides. And with those challenges, I was brought on to Advance to solve a problem. And our problem was the tracking the multitude of customers, programs, incentives, discounts, and how they were practically all kept manually on various Excel spreadsheets. We did heavily utilize an Access database, but they went from extremely simple programs to somewhat complex when we were having to deal cross-functionally across the different point-of-sale systems. And it got unwieldy with Excel spreadsheets. So basically, what we were not aware, and I was actually told that there was no system, there was no company that could handle rebates of this fashion, in this quantity, with this type of complexity. The issue was that our rebates weren't all that complex. The data, all the data behind it, and the attributes of customer attributes, sales attributes were complex. So when I started on that journey, Enable rose to the top pretty quickly. We were practically shut down several times with attempting to implement an ERP at the time. So we started interviewing ERP companies that also said they could do rebates. And again, a long story short, Enable still rose to the top as a solution for us to process all of our professional customer rebates, and we are also starting to dive into the vendor incentives as well. But at this point, we're only focusing on the professional customer rebates. So that's ultimately where we ended up. We had a problem. We were looking to solve a problem, and Enable rose to the top of a relatively small list of companies who could handle this type of data complexity.
And you found your ERP vendors couldn't really close the gap in terms of functionality there.
There were several that thought they could. We interviewed quite a few different ERP companies, including the big ones that everyone would be aware of, like SAP and Oracle. SAP was too stringent. They could handle a basic discount, 5% on volume, something along those lines. Anything more, they were really too stringent to handle a customer hierarchy or multiple point of sale systems. And if it wasn't in a system to be pre-fed into something like a data lake, they couldn't handle it. Almost the same thing with Oracle. They had nothing in the cloud. It was all on-prem. And then also, again, it was so stringent and tightly managed that they really couldn't handle the outside data complexities that exist in a company this large. So ultimately, they simply could not handle it, whereas Enable could.